Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Not your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny, but funny.
I'm Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. Let's start the show. How you feeling today?
Finer than 10 dimes trying to make $1.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Like, comment, subscribe on all the above. YouTube, you see us. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. You know what to do from there. All streaming platforms possible. Podical Sons. And website, podicalsons.com. And we can get into some shit. So you good? I'm kosher.
You kosher?
The flip-flop weather here thing is kind of fucking with me slightly.
Yeah.
Not that much though, but because I realize this stuff, I think in my opinion, I think most of the city's been on like, they thought everything was over.
Right.
So cleanup crew, they've been slacking.
They've been chilling. They've been
because they looked at us like we done for the season.
Right.
So they probably just tapped out. Why most shit is still ain't done yet? Friday, we're recording this on the Sunday.
Yeah. Because, and like I said, it's weird because when we were talking about this earlier, I was saying, usually, like, I know my back street doesn't get cleaned right away, but usually within the next day or so, if it doesn't get cleaned that morning, then in the nighttime it'll get cleaned. They still haven't cleaned the back street yet.
Back streets left. All right. Oh, Canada.
But I know. I think this is really putting our theory into practice because when we say seasons are changing, this is like the December weather we're getting right now. In the month of March.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, usually back when we were getting snowstorms, I would say December and January when we would get the bulk of it, like the heavy type snow. And we haven't seen heavy type snow until like January. Last couple of weeks of February.
I feel like January because last year we had the Snowmageddon where everything kind of shut the hell down. Cars were stuck on the road.
That was in January?
That was in January last year. I remember specifically going to work and going across that bridge.
Yeah.
Wasn't a drill. I had like snow up to my damn shin.
Ooh.
Now I'm a bad bitch. I got snow boots and stuff now. Boots. So
shout out to Marv. He got himself some snow boots, man. He's got his. Because
I'm officially Canadian now.
You're Canadian now.
I was in denial though for a long damn time. Cause I was like, I ain't fucking with no damn boots. I was some old ass kicks and shit, whatever. Remember, I think I even DM'd you one morning. I gave you a voice note, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about me. I'm walking in my Kyries and all some other shit. Like, fuck out of here. Then I was looking at it. I was like, this ain't it.
This ain't it.
I even looked at I took off not even. I think I was cleaning off my kicks. I was cleaning off my Kyries and shit. And I looked at the bottom, and the bottom got like all smooth. I'm like, nah, you wasn't like this at the start of the season. There's still like ripple effect. There's mad ripple effect. It's just like some parts look a little more smooth than others. Like, is that me fucking with this damn doing these trucks? So I was like, all right, I was semi-prepared. So I'm about that life now.
That's good. Well, that's good.
It's that Canada life, man. Yo, let's talk to Canada life. First poll. Does Canadian culture exist? 79% said no.
Oh, then I wasn't lying last week.
Nah, I told you there was no Canadian culture. There is no Canadian culture.
Oh, and like I said, if there was, I didn't know about it.
There's no Canadian culture. I seen, because a lot of people have been talking about diversity.
Right.
Canada specializes in diversity. I'm like, so what, America doesn't exist? The UK doesn't exist? These places are like cultural hubs.
Yeah.
You have multicultural people from different parts in the world and everything.
But I think why they say that is because that's Canada's only real claim, to fame that we would know of. Like,
no
of American
Poutine.
History. Well, the Poutine's in there. You know of American history. Yeah. You know of British history, right?
To a degree, yeah.
But who knows about Canadian history other than Canadians? Some Canadians.
I would say this. Part of Canadian culture, what you failed to say last week was the politeness.
The politeness?
Now I know living here,
the
people who live here like me, Drake, the 6 ain't funny, but it's where you lay up. Like, that shit is legit.
Right.
The rest of the world just think that all the nice people in the world come from fucking Canada.
Yeah.
So that's part of Canadian culture.
Yeah. Yeah. I would see that.
But like when you hear like, you know, ain't nobody too nice here.
But even after we did the pod last week, and I thought about it, right? And I was just even thinking, like, from I was like just a kid getting into TV. Most of the major shows that came on were on American channels. You have one or few that you know what I mean, you have one or few like Canadian shows that would come on just like just the regular Canadian channels, but even Canadian channels themselves, they would be rebroadcasting what American channels were broadcasting. So I'm like, well, how do we expect to have a culture if we don't even see the culture on our own culture on TV? Like, we barely seen our own culture on TV.
Like, it's crazy because I remember. So on my Android box, I had I think, let's say I probably had like 8 or 9 UK channels.
Right.
Right. And I think one day I just told myself, like, you know, I'll watch whatever the fuck was on this channel, switch to this channel and all that. I've never seen one American show broadcast on those channels.
Right.
Now I seen Strike Back.
Okay.
But Strike Back comes on Showtime. I think it comes Showtime Cinemax.
Okay.
Right? In America. But it's an originally Sky One
right
channel. That was the channel.
Yeah.
It was really a Sky One channel from the UK that would just show it, and I guess the US people just picked up the show.
Picked it up.
And I was like, I dig that. There's like tons of shows. Like, I couldn't tell you like a straight Canadian show if I seen it, like on TV.
Right.
Right? If you have to legit point it out to me. Now, me being here, I can see movies because remember, Toronto is the New York of Canada. So when you're watching most of these movies, if they're trying to say, this is allegedly New York,
right,
and you look hard in the background,
you can see
you're looking like, yo, that's not no MTA.
No, that's Hollywood North.
That's TTC right there. You're seeing the stuff, whatever.
Right.
That's no Metro Transit Authority. No, that's Toronto Transit Commission.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah. No, I'm not seeing Canadian culture like that. Most of the Canadian folks that I do speak to, and polled it, right? Polled it to the people, to the world where people who aren't from Toronto, aren't from Canada, they can see it. And people are like, I don't know what the fuck a Canadian culture is.
Right.
And there's no shade to the Canadian culture, but it's just that, to me, I just know Canadian culture as poutine, politeness, hockey in the winter, lacrosse in the summer. Because Canada's, I feel like Canada's the only country I know that's like 2 major like sports is their like national sport, right? And so I was like, Canada, that ain't it. Next poll says, is it a good or a bad thing to judge yourself? And 62% said good thing. Talk about it. How you feel about that?
That's a good thing.
Why?
I think judging for me, when I judge myself, it's at a perspective of making myself better, right?
Okay.
So I'll look at things where I've done in the past that may have led to mistakes, then try to think of what was my thinking at that time, why I got into that position.
So hold on. So now, say you had a fuck up of something like 3 years ago.
Right.
You're thinking about it today to clean about some old mistakes?
If a similar situation arises.
Oh,
right?
okay. I was about to say you're one of those 3 a.m. people, a past thought, now it's on your head, now you can't sleep because...
Oh, no. It's out the way. But like, I'll say, that, like, if a similar situation comes up, then I'll be like, okay, I was here before, but I had the wrong outcome. Why did I reach the outcomes? And I'll judge myself in that way, in hopes that, okay, you know what, learning from the past, right? Because we always say we want to learn as the lesson, right? Learn from that and then take it going forward. So I'm constantly judging myself to that degree. Now, I don't judge myself and hold myself to a high standard. I give myself room.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have several quick questions.
Sure.
First question would be, what is the opposite, or what is the opposite of what you were saying? So like now you said let's say, what could be the bad aspect and stuff of it? Because if you're going about that way, it sounds healthy.
Right.
Average person doesn't talk to themselves too nicely.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then a lot of times people critique the fuck out of their own things. Like I want to say, I know somebody that makes beats besides you.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few people, but you know somebody in particular that I have in mind.
Right.
The beat doesn't sound complete to them because they're judging themselves.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, okay, so play it for somebody else. Somebody else, me, I'm like, yeah, dig it.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's proper.
Right.
It's missing a little fine tuning. And that's what I'm saying. Like you have the artists, the creative people who just, it's not like they're, I want to say if you're confident about what you're doing,
yeah,
you're just like, all right, this is it. Finito, finish. When you got to keep going back in and touching this stuff, you're judging yourself in a bad way. You're looking like you didn't make it complete, or why didn't you leave it halfway? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And more of the thoughts and stuff come up. So now this person now is looking like they're over too hard on themselves and they're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So that's why I was looking at them like, I see the duality in both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking like it might be more problematic when you're your own judge. But then again, I don't need the approval, and I know some people don't need approval of others and stuff, right? So that's why the good thing, it would be a good thing.
Right.
Because you'd be like, you know what? This is how it is.
And funny story to that is that I used to be like that when it came to making beats, right? That's part of where the judgment came in, and me judging myself, saying, if I keep doing this, then I'll never put anything out. I'll just get, or when I put something out, it may be too late because I spent all this time just judging it, right? So now what I do is, and another thing too, what I used to do is I'll start beats, right? And then like weeks later, come back, listen to it, and tweak it, go away from it. Weeks later, come back, look at it, tweak it. You know what I mean? And by the time I look, I spent like 3 weeks on one beat.
On one. And that.
Right.
That.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, judging, I don't think judging like for yourself is necessarily like a full out bad thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like human nature, we just kind of let the bad outweigh the good. Right? So it's kind of like you would make a beat. I'm like, if I came to you, I'm like, I need a beat for something I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, all right, tell me how you like this. I like, you know what? I dig it for what I have to do.
Right.
And because you saw my facial expression, or
Right.
you saw my body language, you read my body language, you're looking like, all right, let me fuck with it a little more, and I'll get back to you and everything, right?
Right.
You should have been confident when you presented it to me.
Yeah.
But now you're in self-doubt mode now, because now I said it's kosher, I can run with it.
Right.
I'm giving you the thumbs up approval. You're
Right.
like, nah, this ain't it. And now you want to take it back, and now you want to put a little extra flair, and now listen to it, and I'm like, yeah, give me the product you had before, because I don't know what the fuck this is. We'll call this shit Project Brooklyn, and then we'll keep it pushing.
So now I just like, I have a routine when I make beats. I'll start it and I'll get it to a point where you can listen to it.
Okay.
Right? I'll do a little quick mix, and then I'll section it out: chorus, verse, chorus, verse. Now, it may not I may not think it as complete, but that's okay. I feel like there's enough there that the idea is there, right? So then now I can present the idea. I'll put it up, I'll post it, whatever. Somebody looks at it, likes it, say, okay. As is, or is there, what are you thinking?
Oh, so you're expecting other people to kind of critique it?
Well, exactly. Because if they say, like you said, you'll run with it, it's nothing more for me to do, right? But if you say, yo, that's dope. I don't know about the hi-hats though. That's it. That's simple. I could just take the hi-hats out. I'll go back, take the hi-hats out, give it back to you, let you hear what it says.
You know what? In that aspect, it's not a bad thing because you're making the beats, let's say, quote unquote, for sale purpose.
Right.
So from there, it's like, this is generally what it is, but now it's kind of like you're customizing it for a customer.
Right.
Right? So it's not that bad with that.
Yeah.
But from that aspect and that point of view,
yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that. I just look at it as, again, people don't know how to speak to themselves nicely.
No, they don't.
Like, I've learned that recently within probably a little bit after I turned 30. Because I was looking at myself, I'm like, the fuck, you should have been a little bit further to where you are. And like, that was my thing I was always on myself for, right?
Right.
Because I was kind of comparing myself to, let me say, my peers who had certain type of things lined up for them already.
Right.
And I'm trying to play catch up to something I've never had.
Right.
Right. So I want to say, I'm a child of a single parent household where I've had, like, let's say, classmates who had two parents, both living together, and they're probably with well-off jobs and doing everything for their child.
Yeah.
Let's say their child and myself were amongst the same age, and I'm looking like, well, damn, why they got this, they got that. It's not even like a I want to say a jealousy side of thing. It's kind of like, I should be able to do that too, right? But then again, you got to know your standpoint of where you are in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most people tend to get fucked up and twisted, especially when it comes to social media things.
Yeah.
Because kind of like, well, they all getting BBLs, or they all doing this, and everybody's doing that. Check out where your standpoint is.
I think you always got to look at it too as what is relative to your point of view, because everybody has a different point of view, right? And it's exactly what you're saying. It's like you may see so and so and think, "Damn, they're ahead of me. I should be at least close to them or at the point where they're at, right?" Meanwhile, what you're not noticing is somebody's looking at you saying, "Damn, Marv's where I want to be." Right? They're not knowing that you feel like you're not anywhere close to where you're supposed to, where you're wanting to be. They're just looking at you from their perspective, from their relative view, and saying, "Shit, Marv's there. Marv's there already. I gotta catch up to Marv." So it's always something that's gonna be to your point of view, and then I think once you realize that, because I think now that you've realized that you realize that no, you can't really compete against anybody but yourself.
True. But I feel like communication and stuff is very poor amongst most people today. Because I look at it where if, let's say if I'm looking at it where I wish I could be or I want to be somewhere where I, at next level where I thought I could be or I should be at.
Right.
And somebody else is looking at me like, no, Marv is the fucking shining star. Now, if this person was to probably say that now to me,
right,
it might really kind of change my
your perspective.
Exactly. It'll change like how you move and stuff. You're like, no, it may or may not.
Right.
Cause I look at some people are swayed with words, well, love language, words of affirmation. And there's some people where they might not give a damn and they just continue by doing them or going lost. Like, I don't want to say lost like as a bad thing, but I look at it where words of encouragement is good.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like if you think the world's coming down on you and you realize somebody's in your back corner or clapping you and like in the stands,
yep,
you're a fan.
You're a fan. You're a fan.
You're a fan. So you feel kosher, right? So I look at those aspects and stuff like majority pertain to that. That's why I always try to be aware for myself, like, all right, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities at set time.
Right.
So I'll give myself set time for task or project and everything and to say, okay, this is a lot of time I have for it.
Right.
And I'm going to do what I deem the best for it at this time. That's it.
That's it.
Space, shape, or time. Like let's say the time zone, let's say podcast.
Right.
Topic, security, the topics and discussions and what we're going to talk about and everything. It'll take several days to do.
Right.
Right. I always give myself till like the last bit to like the Sunday morning. Once the Sunday morning with the final news and everything, because Sunday afternoon when we record,
Right.
as good as it gets.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Now, somebody else might look at it like, oh, I guess shit, maybe another topic here. I probably want to talk about these things and stuff. I want to, linger on this for like 10 to 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Fuck all that.
Nah.
And I'll tell myself now, be like, whatever you're doing, just feel confident enough to know for a fact that this is as good as it gets, and you're okay with that.
And you're
the
okay
shoulda,
with that.
woulda, couldas.
Yeah.
You're not late. You're not early. You're right on time when you need to be.
That's exactly why I'm saying, like, I'll hold myself to the standard, but I'll give myself that room to work within.
Right. All right. How was your Black History Month, man?
I don't know. It just like I was saying, man. It didn't feel like the regular Black History Month.
So so the past few years now, right? The Black History Months have come with, I want to say, more shocking and controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Than a lot of times when you were younger, or maybe you were probably too oblivious to kind of pay attention to some stuff. Like, did you have like high expectations of Black History Month in general, like from the past to now? You have low expectations? Are you too used to them talking about the same people over
Yeah,
and
you know what?
over?
I think that's what it's becoming.
So if you got new people to talk about, would you be more interested? And your expectations would be higher?
I think so. I think it's just the repetitiveness of like
the same
names that come up, the same type of arguments that come up. You know what I mean? Like,
who's better, LeBron or Jordan? No.
No. Well, the argument that I mean, at this point, we know it's a given that they only pandered to us during this month, right? It's like, so this month you can expect some pandering and just the regular names being thrown out there. And I think at the start of the month, I posted Mansa Musa.
Who's that now?
He, at one point, was the richest man in the world.
Okay. What you got a time frame for that?
I want to say maybe the 1400s.
Okay.
So
I feel like it don't take much to get you rich back then, though.
Well, it would have been like they're saying even equivalent to like this time. There's still nobody who would have touched him.
So he'd have been like the trillions or some shit like that.
Yeah. So he was like he sat down on. I think he was the king of Mali, if I'm not mistaken. And
so hold on,
sat down on.
Don't make me come for your neck. Don't make me do this. I love you like a fat kid love cake.
Go ahead.
So you post somebody that you don't know.
The neck is there. I know he's the richest man.
Nah,
he was the richest man.
What we're not gonna do is that.
It's either Molly.
Either Molly. Did he pop a Molly?
No, he didn't pop a Molly.
Are you sure?
Either Molly. They didn't have Molly back then. At least they didn't call it Molly. Maybe they had it, but it wasn't called Molly.
It's called a Musa, man. Mansa Musa.
And so I posted him, right? Because he's not a regular. And then after I posted him, it's like I just literally just forgot what this month was. And just went on just being me, just doing regular shit. I think that's the other part of it, maybe too as well. It's like I'm at the point where I'm just tired of us just having the February as the month, and it doesn't faze me.
I am not at that moment.
You're not there yet?
Where it's February, just a regular month. I think I'm gonna show out. I'm gonna always show out. I'm not saying that you're not proud.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I am a proud Black man. And you're gonna give me my damn month, and you're gonna put some respect on my ancestors and my countrymen and my kinfolk and my ilk that look like me. that have melanin tone like me that done did great shit and done paved some ways. Now, I agree with you. I am to the point where I want to say, let's say the main black figureheads, right? Let's say the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Frederick Douglasses. Let's celebrate them. I feel, my opinion, we should celebrate them on like their known birthdays.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like I look at it where if we're going on birthday, like, all right, Martin Luther King, the day is for his birthday.
Right.
Right? Now, not familiar with like Frederick Douglass's birthday.
Well, I think from what I heard, his birthday is during February.
Frederick Douglass?
Yeah, and it was a black guy who decided to say, hey, let's just celebrate some black history stuff during the month of February.
Frederick Douglass birthday. Yeah, in February. So they said like they just celebrated on Valentine's Day.
All right.
But okay, like I said, like I don't know exactly specific people, but I want to say not everybody has been like pioneer and just structured set in February.
Right.
Because Martin Luther King, like I said, his birthday's in January, and then we do take homage and pay homage for him in January. But then we just resurrect him back again in the February to talk about him and everything in the month of February, Black History Month. There's other people, I feel like they're paving and making ways and got some places. Like, it's shocking to me that people don't know, a good portion of black people don't know who Don Peebles is. Right?
Yeah.
And even like Robert Smith, the guy who paid for the Morehouse graduating class.
Right.
I feel like these people need to be highlighted now.
Yeah, well, of course, because they're relevant.
They're relevant.
They're relevant. Yeah.
They're relevant. And we live in a world right now constantly where it's kind of like, we don't care what you did in the past. We care about what you're doing now.
Right.
So now you have these people and stuff that are doing things now. Why aren't we not, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Paying them their just desserts and their just dues right now on public display.
I agree.
That's the part that kind of annoys me. So I think it was Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner many, many years ago, I remember, I think it was him and the McDonald's had that 365 Black thing that came up and I was like, all right, cool. But I mean, throughout the course of the years, it hasn't been feeling like that. And then, you know, this February we had, why you looking at me? Because I'm about to cover some shit. Matt McClung. White man can jump. I'm tired of that joke. But even like him, I look at it as like, somebody's like, oh, I can't believe this first time a white guy won the dunk contest and stuff. And one person, you know, who's super pro-black, they like, he won it during Black History Month. I'm like, does that matter? Does that matter?
He won during Black History Month.
And then, okay. Did you hear about like the white law student who's suing Howard? So, okay, he's a white law student. What's his name? Michael. I wish I had his name. Michael Newman.
Michael Newman, okay.
Right, because I remember I'm like, oh, that's a basic name to remember.
Right.
Because I think Victor Newman and, you know, Days
Paul
of Our
Newman.
Lives. Yeah.
This is the Newman family.
Yeah.
The Newman family.
So Michael Newman now. I feel like he's the ultimate troll.
Okay.
and I say it with a fucking smile. Elon don't got nothing on him and stuff, whatever.
Okay.
He is a white young man who went to Howard University.
Okay.
Historic Black college university.
Right.
And he went there for law.
Okay.
2020, he would spark controversial conversations within his classes. So it's kind of like what he said because since he's a law student, he's the one that wanted to stand by and wrote out his lawsuit to Howard University.
Right.
So he said that the black people are looking from the change to take place from the government, where people got upset when he said the change should happen within them. Right. Right? And I was like, that's fair perspective. All perspective, right? Yeah. Then I think they probably brought him up on some stuff and tell him like, hey, you know, that right there kind of just triggered the class. But I think he just kept going into other situations.
Yeah.
Till they kicked him out September, October last year, 2022.
Okay.
So now the lawsuit came out now. He's like, no, I'm suing them because they're being discriminatory because I'm white.
Because he's white?
Troll. The reason why I say troll, because I look at it so you go to an all black, not even all black, you go to historic black
It's historic
school
black university. Yeah.
to go come with some racial and some hot button topics
Right.
in your classes and then sue for discrimination. Bruh, you went there with all the smoke.
He went there with all the smoke. You know what I thought you were going to talk? I thought you were going to talk about the, and I don't know his name, but he was I don't know if he was already in an Ivy League school. It's a quarterback. I don't know if he was already in an Ivy League school or he was getting a scholarship to go to one.
I have no idea.
Had a racial slur,
Okay.
right? That came out, right? Which blocked him, prevented him from going to the Ivy League school he was supposed to go to, right?
Mhm.
And a historic black college decided that they were going to give him a scholarship to come play on their football team. So now people were up in arms and like, yo, the Ivy League school just dropped his scholarship because he did using racial slurs. Now you want to take him up?
Is he brave enough to use it at the school?
So the university is saying, well, this is where we want to take this as an opportunity to teach him about black culture.
Or to set him up to get fucked up on campus.
Some of the fucking fucked up on campus. What do you think about that?
I just setting him up to get him fucked up. Which is sweet. Because I look at it as stuff as where it's the grumbling, mumbling.
The grumbling, mumbling.
You can talk all that shit from way over there.
Right.
Bring that shit live and direct. Say it to my face.
Right.
Now, if you bad enough to say it to my face or say it right here, what up?
Yeah. Yeah.
What up? But other than that, no, I don't. Teaching lesson, it might be. I see where they're going with it. But nah, man, they sent him to get fucked up. They definitely get donkey punched in his grill. And then what was the last top off for this Black History Month for me? I think at the end was with the Tom Segura, the comedian. What he's saying about white people. No, he said black people. Sorry. How it was, so he was on a podcast and how the piece that been cycling around. So I found the podcast's name. I forgot exactly the spelling for it, whatever, but I want to say it's him and a woman. She's a comedian and stuff herself. And on their podcast, they're there to talking about washing legs, like when you're showering. And he's like, what am I, black? I don't wash my legs. So like, is that a black thing? It's like a black thing. I was like, me when I heard it, because somebody sent it to me, and me when I heard it, I was like, oh, I mean, it's not really in their culture, you know,
right?
To wash past like the vagina and sausage area. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then he kept going in and saying like, no, it's not a black thing. So, you know, kind of, I guess everybody started turning on the defense.
Right.
And I'm still hearing it play. And then my guy said, washcloths are definitely a poor people thing.
Okay. I seen the clip from that part. The washcloth. Uh-huh. Okay, I didn't have no because I was wondering like, okay, is this supposed to be a slight against anybody? Because I didn't catch the part before that. Okay, so now that washcloth part makes sense. Okay, go ahead, continue.
No, so that's what he was saying. So he was saying poor. He said washcloths are normally used by the poor folk, but I'm looking like, I'm not saying I was balling when I was little, but we had washcloths. So I'm like, so the rich don't like clean properly? Like I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't get it.
So that's how I was looking. I'm like, and somebody's like, no, he's saying that black people and stuff are using, like, you know, using washcloths or poor people and everything. I'm like, well, dog, our culture and their culture are two different type of cultures and everything. So some of my white friends, they jumped up. They're like, it was one of my white friends sent it to me. Like, first of all, this is why I know your people always talk about my people like this. Right. I was like, I just sent an emoji like, I mean, like, you know, that one black one, like,
I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't invent the washcloth.
Did we? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who did it, but yeah, because I feel like the washcloth was the faith cloth.
Right.
For them.
Yes.
And then they said, fuck it. That's just what they're just using it on, and then that's it. We took everything else, like, no, we lathering up the fucking whole body. Because I even... Yeah. I don't know, but the thing and stuff is that...
See, listen, man. If I have to pick a pubic hair off the soap, I'm fighting somebody.
No, I use liquid.
Use liquid?
I use
so
liquid.
You're good.
Yeah. I haven't used bar soap in a hot minute. But I want to say that would be an issue.
Yeah.
That would definitely be an issue.
Yeah. Let the pubes fall on your washcloth.
Because even, I think, I went to somebody's house and they had a bar soap for hand washing purpose. And I saw a strand of it. I'm like, what we're not going to do is that. I'm going to see if I can find some sanitizer.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not fucking with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because me looking at it and me knowing that it's in a guest, the guest washroom.
Right.
I looked at it, was like,
no, you got to guess who used the
bar soap. I'm looking like there's mad traffic that can come through here. And then again, I don't know what people do when they in the washroom by their damn self.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I don't expect... I could be just doing this.
Yes.
Somebody else be going there and stuff lather and
with the bar soap.
on their ball sack and everything. So I was like, no.
Nah.
No, I'm not feeling that. So I'd be kind of scared. So you guys are good though. Bar soap, yeah? Brave.
Yeah, no.
Love you guys.
Bar soap, that rag to death, man. And when that rag is fully soapy, then I'll go ahead. I'll wash myself down with a washcloth.
With a washcloth.
Call me bro.
Any encouraging words for Ja, I carry a gun, Morant?
Encouraging words?
Mm.
Yeah, you're there. You're already there, man. And enjoy life as it is. You don't need to. If there's something that you're trying to fulfill in being gangster, I just want you to know that a lot of those people who are in those positions are not in those positions by choice. They're in those positions either trying to get out of a situation, trying to make a life better for themselves, and to actually be where you are, and maybe not at the heights of what you are, but somewhat to have things that you cannot have because of your NBA career. They trade places in a minute. Damn, that's in a millisecond. They trade places with you.
I want to the people who claim they don't have a choice, they do have a choice.
Mm.
So I want to eliminate that. So I want to say, even if you're hustling, you're doing whatever. Again, going back to what we were saying earlier in part of the show, you should set yourself a proper time frames and parameters, and amongst those things, first to say, all right, you're gonna hustle like this for a year or two.
Right.
You still had the choice to say you're going to hustle for this for a year or two.
Right.
You still had a choice. Now, if it didn't come up to your expectations and everything, do you keep it going? That's still a choice. Or do you quit? Hove did that. No, hopefully you don't have to go through that. I always look at it where some people, you might say you might have no choice, but then they become addicted to whatever lifestyle that they're living.
Right.
Pertaining to Ja, get your ass a bodyguard. That's all I got to say.
Can't get him a bodyguard?
Get somebody. Look, I look at it like this. When 50, back in my day, when 50 Cent came out, was talking all that gun heavy shit, before, they was clowning 50. They had police officers and shit like that with him.
Right.
And he's like, he has licensed, trained professionals that can pop off when he needs them to pop off.
For sure.
let them motherfuckers carry the gun.
For sure.
This situation got Ja suspended for 2 games, at least for now, because this is fresh.
Yeah.
Saturday morning,
Yeah.
we're recording on Sunday. Who knows what else can transpire? NBA players and guns. There's a guy named Gilbert Arenas. Hopefully you guys remember him. It doesn't go too well for people
Shit.
with things like that.
Was it Delonte West with the motorcycle and the guns in the back, the knapsack? He got caught with?
Oh shit, I can't even remember. I know somebody like that, but I couldn't remember who it was exactly. I know Gilbert Arenas.
Remember the Gilbert Arenas incident.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Okay. Even if you are packing to protect your own safety, your damn self, right? Why is the post ending up on social media?
Because everything ends up on social media. That's what you guys have to. That's what the world. People need to understand that main thing.
Yeah.
When they're like, this doesn't need to be a post on social media. That is for, I want to say, the well elevated,
Right.
like the intelligent folk.
Right.
That is automatic for them. You gotta look at it as I'm not expecting me from other people. But I'm not expecting everybody to be like Albert Einstein. I'm expecting low until I see you go high or do great shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I look at it where I'm thinking you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So your phone will be out no matter what. Oh my gosh. Phone is out. Oh my God. Phone is out. People die. Phone is out. Car accident. Phone is out. Phone is always going to be out. So people like, it shouldn't be posted. For all we know, the man held the gun up like this and it was someone else's phone. It could have been a stripper chick he was trying to fuck that night. It could have been one of his other homeboys or something like that. Look at Rob Ford. When Rob Ford had his situation and stuff, it wasn't Rob Ford recording. It was other people posting that shit up.
I don't know, man.
That's the world we live in. Y'all have to make peace with that.
I don't know.
Real G's moving silent like lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is stuff is that there's not too many real G's. There's a lot of perpetrators.
World's different, Marv.
Of course.
World's different.
Of course. I think the sooner we make peace with that, the better. But I think because it's constantly changing, so that's the reason why people, they can't latch on and like kind of keep track. You get what I'm saying? Because I look at it where if you made peace with, okay, I made peace with something like millennials, the average millennial is bad in communication.
Right.
Right? And then some millennials probably will hear this and like, that's not true, blah, 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 and everything. All right. So prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. If you have conversations with somebody and you're like, you know what I'm saying? You get me? You feel me? You didn't have it communicated properly. That's why you're ending your sentence with that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Your good communication would say, this is what happened. John Morant carried a gun, or he had a gun, brandished it on social media in a strip club. The end. What do you mean? The fuck you mean what I mean? I said it crystal clear for you. You're not comprehending what I'm communicating.
No, they got to see it on IG first.
And that's cool.
They got to see it on IG first.
And that's cool. A lot of people seeing is believing too. And that's cool. I don't knock that.
They got to see it on IG first.
But I think it's stuff is where we should automatically assume everybody has our best interest in heart.
No, you can't. You can't.
So you might be in a vibe.
Right.
Like you might even be in a vibe. Let's say we were painting a brand new picture. You and your wife might be in a vibe somewhere like that. And you guys probably cracked a joke earlier that day.
Yeah.
And then she probably said something to you like, you lucky I love you. I'll punch you in your face and stuff, if any case and stuff. Or like she just said it as a joke.
Right.
Right. And that's her, you guys' running joke.
Right.
Throw you guys in a club setting and everything like that. And let's say you were somebody who's watching you talk to some woman that's not your wife, and then your wife come up to you and do that same joke shit to you again. Oh shit. She about to whoop his ass because she saw him talking to him. And they caught everything on record. Not everybody has your best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. So I want to say be mindful of the things that you do when like when you're home.
For sure.
Let everything hang.
Well, even more so when you're in the public eye, you're a celebrity. Like you gotta know, like, even the people who are just, even if you're there sitting doing nothing, People will just film you doing nothing just because of who you are. Waiting for shit to happen.
The Dana White situation.
Right.
The Dana White with his wife.
Right.
The club was dead. They were just there early.
Yeah.
Because they were on the flyer.
Right.
They were having their little spat. And everything took place. And people just like, oh, it's Dana White. Record. Oh, shit. Got it.
And at that point, it's a race to who can pose the first at that point.
I don't know. Moral of the story, John, get you a bodyguard. Get you bodyguards, plural. And then they carry the shit.
Yeah.
And if you want, and if you want, he could even do a better video or something. Be like, these hands are for ball.
Only one thing these hands shoot.
You know what I'm saying? And then you point to that bouncer or you point to the bodyguard. I shoot to hoops. He shoot if you fuck with me.
Ain't no threes coming out of his hands.
Done. Simple. What else? I wanted to give a shout out to Britney Griner.
Okay. From one hooper to a next.
Not really give you a shout out. I just want you to see. I want to see a Britney Griner game on fucking
I want to see a game.
NBC.
I want to see a game.
NBC, when WNBA season start, her home opener should be on TV. All the hype that went with the Britney Griner,
Listen,
free Britney.
She better be a top 5 player.
I'll figure that out.
She better be a top 5 player.
I'll figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
I don't know. I just look at it as where all the hype that went around Britney Griner's freedom, that press, keep that same fucking energy and put her ass on TV, on NBC. A WNBA game should be showing now on regular TV after all this Britney Griner press.
Yeah.
You got to prove me wrong. You have to prove me wrong.
You got to let us know what was so special. I'd really like to know where the Merchant of Death is right now.
He living.
He's You think he's back to work?
I don't.
Or you think you think he's still low, and he's just like, nah, I'm gonna be low for a bit.
No, he was bought to Putin. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens and stuff after people see Putin.
Yeah.
Right? Because I look at it as where I think when they show some shit, there's like a big ass office area, something that they would show on the Russian news for, they say it might be equivalent to the Oval Office of Russia.
Yeah.
Putin kind of sat kind of far from everybody else who had like COVID mask, who was wearing masks during the pandemic and everything. So they may go see him. They may not come out the same. Who knows? I don't put, you know what it is? I was laughing and I was saying this to somebody and stuff. Maybe because I do so much research and I collect so much information.
Yeah.
People might look at me like the Holy Grail. Well, I'm not Gandalf. I'm like, my beard is still black. It just has a few gray strands and stuff. I don't take every red pill.
Right.
But a lot of people assume I take every red pill. So they might be like, so what happened to the train derailment? So what happened to Putin? Like, what happened to the black merchant? People come in and be like, I don't know, nigga. The reason why, because I look at it as where, and it's not just I care about it to talk about it, but if I'm going to talk about something, I feel like there's another layer to just the surface layer. Right. So, okay. Like we were talking about the Michael Newman kid. Yeah. Right? Young man. Yeah. With his situation, I felt like it was trolling. You go to a, HBCU, and I'm like, what are you doing? Right, yeah. You're starting shit. Yeah. So I'm like, but why? So I'm like, you must be racist, and like, or your peoples have some kind of ploy to say like, hell yeah, we'll pay for you to go fuck with them coons. Especially, don't forget to launch the lawsuit and stuff around Black History Month so you can make the news. Who knows? That's what I said. Like, I go from surface layer, another layer, and that's it. If it incites me or curiosity strikes me to that level, I might free fall down a rabbit hole. I try not to, because a lot of times one, this is where the conspiracy theorist in me will reside. You might not get all information.
Right. Well, I doubt you'll ever get the entire information.
Unless you're part of the story.
Unless you're part of the story.
Right. So I look at it as where, I guess the journalistic side of me doesn't go that deep.
Right.
But people are like, hey man, you got all the information in your head. Let me ask you about no.
Yeah, because they know you're in the know, you know. They know people call you.
No, and those motherfuckers need to know too. They need to know too.
Marv, this is Batwing. I got the scoop for you.
Yo. I had somebody call me and stuff. Yo, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just heading back home. Oh, so you outside? Yeah. Bet. Where are you? Exactly. I was like, damn near to the house. Why? Okay, I know where you at now. So the person mentioned my location.
Right.
They're like, look up in the sky. Like they're like, face west, look up in the sky and be like southwest-ish. You see those two dots? Those are like stars to you? So I'm like, hi, jackass. It's cold as shit. And I'm not a stargazer.
Right.
I'm a motherfucking star boy, like, you know, like the weekend, but this is a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Try Google it. Yeah, but you think the information will be concrete? I don't take every red pill.
I don't know.
I don't take every red pill.
It was like the two suns.
That shit too. Oh, you knew somebody came and threw that shit at me. I knew exactly who threw it at me and stuff first. I was like, this what we doing? I was like, why are you freaking out over two suns? Yo, there's no such thing as two suns. I was like, oh, conspiracy theory? I'm like, bingo, let's fuck with it. I'm going to bring it to Smooth Punk ass now. So I'm like, oh, I got to look this shit up too. I was like, you don't need to go down every rabbit hole though. Do you? Do we?
My mind is just my mind.
But doesn't that hinder you and block you from moving forward with other shit?
No.
Really?
No.
Because I feel like a lot of people get stuck on these things and then there's kind of like useless shit that they're not going to need or use within their scope of their world. Like, I look at it like this. I have a few conspiracy theorists.
Right.
Not like you. I have a few conspiracy theorists to be like, what's the point in all of this? This is how motherfuckers can talk.
Yeah.
What's the point in all of this if everything is already set and rigged?
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be mean and stuff to you, but I guess you have no purpose to live then.
Right.
Do you have a purpose to live? So the person said, well, yeah, obviously I got my wife and I got my daughter, I got this and my parents and everything. So I was like, so focus on them.
I want to say like maybe 20 years ago, me and my eldest brother, Philip, we used to talk. Like, if you think I'm like this, you sit and speak with Philip.
I'm not going to do that. Why the fuck would I do that?
Philip.
I sit with you every week.
But I asked him. I asked him because like he would seriously go down. And I was like, I'm like, how do you sit and take in all this information?
Oh, okay.
Without going
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or, insane or something like that. Or just like he said, what is the point of all this?
Yeah.
Right? And his response is that we're living in the belly of the beast, but we still got to live. So it doesn't matter what everything that's all this is going around. Yeah, I noticed all of this that's going around, but at the end of the day, I still got my life to live. I still wake up. I still go to sleep. I still got to eat. I still got to do all the regular things that normal human beings got to do.
Right.
Right? So there's still a focus to me. Like, even knowing what I know or assuming what I may assume or hearing what I may have heard, at the end of the day, that shit ain't gonna pay no bills. That shit ain't gonna do no that. I still gotta live.
But that's the kind of ideology I would use.
Mm-hmm.
I agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
But other people and stuff is there. This occupies the time for elevation or growth to take place.
Right.
So their paranoia, and I call it paranoia because I don't know exactly, and a lot I want to say with a good portion of conspiracies is like they have more anecdotal than factual stuff. Because if it's factual, it's not conspiracy.
Right.
Right? They're with the anecdotal stuff, and they might spend an hour to two like swimming down or going down this rabbit hole when that hour to two could be utilized in some other aspect in their world.
Yes.
And then they'll come back and be like, what's the point of all this? Bitch, you just wasted 2-3 hours out of your own life. You could have been a better father, better husband, better this, better person.
They
in general.
They could have did all of that. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the movie with I can't remember his name now. The guy who did Passion of Christ. Mel Gibson.
Okay.
Remember that movie with Mel Gibson and he was like, what's it called? Conspiracy Theory? Or Conspiracy, something like that? And he lived in a big warehouse and he had it all like rigged and stuff like that. So when the government agents come, I'll try and remember the name of the movie, but he was like, that was him. Like he was like the conspiracy dude gone like here to here. And he just like lived in like this building complex off the radar. Yeah, shit, booby trapped and stuff like that. So the authorities come to him one click and everything will just disintegrate. And like, yeah, when you're at that level, you might just pack up your life. Just pack up your life. Because what's the sense of living? Everything's suspect to you. You can't enjoy anything at that point. You really can't.
I want to say there's people there's steps down from that though. Like you and I probably know people and stuff that's just legit like steps down and stuff from that, right? Like I remember, it's just funny how when I hear some of them, if I'm talking to a few people,
right?
If I'm talking to a few of them and then they will come with like some kind of thought, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm like, I never really thought about it like that. And then you start hearing their thoughts and they'll kind of go in on it. I'm like, shit, you're giving us a lot of energy. I don't give these things a lot of energy and stuff like that.
Right.
I might not be the person you should talk to about this.
Right.
Maybe you should look about somebody like that. It ain't that serious. Bitch, like hell. You went in and had a full dry erase board with this whole step-by-step aspect.
He's giving you his theory.
Either you're in the wrong profession or go into this.
He's giving you his theory.
What we're not gonna do is that. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But I don't know. I guess I like it when at least they're able to try and communicate. Because like I said, the communication aspect for people is kind of hard.
Right.
Especially even like when we bring it back to like friends, adults making friends. It's not that hard to communicate, you know, you vibe with this person or you kind of like this person.
Yeah.
And this person might tell you, nah, I got enough friends in my life. I can't really fuck with you like on that type of level and stuff. But I mean, we're culture like this. Again, it's the lack of the communication aspect. But the fact that people are even brave enough to start talking about like, birds are drones. It's brave enough you said that shit out your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you been to a pet shop? I'm about to say, okay.
I think it was a specific. I think it was just pigeons. I don't think it was all birds.
No, I heard birds.
You heard birds?
Birds. I heard birds.
I heard. Have you ever seen a pigeon being a pigeon hatch? And I was like, no.
Me.
That's because they're drones. And I was like,
no. I said I've never seen a baby pigeon before.
You've never seen a baby pigeon?
I've never seen a baby pigeon.
Right. But I've heard pigeon. I haven't heard the bird. I've heard pigeon specifically as being some sort of remote controlled spy.
Because and I only said I never seen a baby pigeon before because I always look at it as like when it came, and I use that reference pertaining to like adults.
Right.
Like I was looking at stuff as, let's say us when you were kids, we couldn't picture our parents being kids unless we legit saw photos of them being kids.
Right.
You know, your parents would be like, this is me when I was 10 years old. You're like, that's not you. You don't even look like that now. Right?
Right.
We just have this concept and stuff that like as kids, you're born, your parents are always this, and they're probably just gonna get a little bit older in the face, grayer and less hair.
Yeah.
But you've never seen them in a younger form.
No.
So, and that's what I'm saying pertaining to like the baby pigeon aspect. I'm like, we treat our parents like baby pigeons. Like pigeons. Like we've never think about them as kids, but they were once kids too.
Right.
Eventually they had to go from to currently where they were and stuff now. So we shouldn't really shut down or knock down everything our parents and stuff say. And especially look at it like as a parent, as a child coming from a parent who's an immigrant.
Right.
Where most things in North America was immersed in part of my world coming up, growing up. And my mom had more of a structure from a Jamaican aspect.
Yeah.
Of like how Jamaica was when she was younger and everything. So
she's relearning a lot of things with things that are first lessons to you.
I can see that. I can agree to that.
Yeah.
I can agree to that. But I think there's some people, I'm going to say, can I say the immigrant diaspora? Let's say like the immigrant parents, they tend to hold more true to where they came from.
Yeah.
So it's not like the minority is the ones that are trying to relearn.
Right.
The majority, they're like, yo, this is how we do shit.
Right.
And they might do slight adjustments, but it's not like they're relearning some new stuff for it. They're like, we're just making leeway for this, right? Like I look at it where the honor killings with the Indian folk.
Yes.
Right? There in India, that might be kosher. Here in Canada, that's a problem.
Right.
But there's some of them who came over from India to Canada recently, that's like what? Maybe like 2 years ago, like max?
Yeah, it was
where the father killed like
not long ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, not all. This is relearning some shit. Because if you learn these Canadian laws, you can't go doing that.
Nah.
So, but that aspect, I don't know. I feel like with us as people, communication is a major, major thing. And I think, and again, communication, comprehension, they go together.
Yes.
Proper marriage. We're at a point now where, and I thought this first for like, even for podcasts, because there's a lot of more podcasts jumping up in the fray, in the pot.
Yeah.
I think when we entered this stuff, it was probably like less than 2 million podcasts. And then now it's uncanny like X-Men.
Yeah.
It's uncanny like X-Men.
I mean, we're at the point now where they're teaching courses. They're teaching podcast courses in like schools.
Which is, I think which is dope. Because the reason why I say that is because way back when they used to teach radio.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's gotten to that point, right? Because journalism is a course.
Journalism is definitely a course, but I look at it where radio specific. Like I remember somebody was telling me they had woodshop classes.
Mm-hmm.
They had a woodshop class. They had home ec, and they had, it was, I guess, a communication broadcast, and that team was part of the yearbook. So they were more, I guess, of the media side of the school.
Right.
So that team might do like morning announcements. They might do, and it got to that level to like certain places they would do radio.
Right.
And then radios became frequent within the universities and the schools and the colleges.
Right.
Right? Now we're getting to a point where, in my opinion, radio is going obsolete.
Yeah.
So they need to move over some of these things. Now, podcast is the new radio podcast, and I say that heavy.
Mm-hmm.
What movie was that? There's You People. You People. They start the movie off with podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting and the communication aspect is there. Question is, again, podcasters are coming up, like say, in the 5 million to the 10 millions now. How many people are comprehending what these people are saying?
That's true.
So the communication is going out.
How many of them comprehending what they're doing?
What do you mean? The podcasters?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Well, for instance, how many times have you ran into somebody to tell you they're going to start a podcast tomorrow, and they have no idea what a podcast really is about what it really takes, what it really entails. So that's what I mean. A lot of them don't even comprehend what a podcast actually is. A lot of them feel like it's just like a lot of them will equate it to talk radio when it's similar in a sense, but different in others.
Tell me the difference.
Well, for one, when you're on a radio, you got a specific radio format that comes, right? Whether you like it or not, there's going to be commercial breaks, right? Whereas within a podcast realm,
you create your commercial breaks.
You create your commercial breaks. You can dictate whether or not you want commercial breaks, because if you don't want commercial breaks,
they can be inserted and all that type of stuff.
Exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the aspect of on radio, you don't have to worry about looks. Well, if you're a podcast that's not visual, in today's day and time, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you feel like you're gonna operate with the big boys, then you gotta have some visual skills to go with whatever your audio skills is. All right? These people just feel like, nah, they can just jump, sit down, and it's away you go.
But don't you feel like it's dope the fact that they see you, let's say week by week or like, years in, and look at you and say like, if he could do it, I could do it too.
No.
You don't feel like it's dope?
You can't do what I do.
Oh shit, you be shutting down dreams like that? I tell them welcome. I tell them welcome until they realize what they're getting themselves into.
I tell them that, what I should tell them is actually, okay, you feel like you can do what we do? Come and sit down in on an episode.
You inviting people? Man, don't be letting these strangers
sit down on an episode. You know what I mean? I think once they sit down and see that, no, it's more than Marv and Andrew just sitting down by the mics and talking. Like, that's just one aspect of it. That's just the aspect that we get to see.
Swag.
There's a few of them, Marv.
I'm done.
There's a few of them, Marv.
I'm done.
There's a few of them.
I appreciate all of y'all that look at us and think that this thing is an easy peasy, beautiful cover girl project. I appreciate y'all. I'm glad we make this shit look easy to y'all. And I appreciate all of y'all that make it seem like that. And to the ones that know or the ones that don't know, it takes work.
You are not me.
It takes work. I'm not saying that. You might even be better than me at this and stuff. You might not be.
You're not me.
I just tell you, welcome to Fray. Me personally, I don't acknowledge a podcast. I don't acknowledge a podcast unless it gets to 48 episodes. First 48. We're 200 episodes in, so I can't really recognize any podcast that has less than 30. Your topic, I probably spoke about already, or I probably was planning to talk about already without me knowing about that particular show.
Right.
And then I look at it stuff as what I don't know what you might know unless I have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because it could be all fun and games. You could be a rando, and then they'd be like, this guy Marv he's known to say this, and prepare them. And when I sit to you face to face, and we're having this podcast, I guess, convo, and I look you in your eye and I say some type of things that might derail you off and be like, oh, this is not according to your notes. Because I do this shit.
Right.
And you're scripted.
Right.
So if you're scripted and stuff, we are not in the same battlefield.
No. But
as is.
But this is what I'm trying to show you, Marv. Like, they look at you and they feel like, oh, well, I can go toe-to-toe.
And I appreciate that.
I can go toe-to-toe.
I make it look easy.
They can't go toe-to-toe, though, Marv.
I appreciate that.
They can't go toe-to-toe.
That day, I take a red pill for that. I take a red pill for that.
Yeah. Come on, man. We've had guests. It's...
Oh, people that want to come for me. People want to fight, yeah.
And we've had guests on the show that, you know what I mean?
It's not I think it's definitely not an easy thing, but I think people get hyped up from... certain things on a surface level look good.
Right.
But then you can always tell who honed or put into their craft.
Mm.
That aspect. So it's kind of like, all right, oh shit, this is deeper than what I thought it was. Let me buckle down. Let me take this a little bit more serious. Let me look at this. Let me try and cover all of this.
Got it.
Right? Because I guess, like, let's say you might shoot a first episode on a podcast for like maybe a cell phone, a tripod, and a regular Degger microphone. They can crystal clear hear you.
Right.
Then you realize and stuff that most of your, you're getting a little following and they're looking like, hey, it would be better if you switch up some mics or you talk more close to the camera.
Yeah.
Now you're like, oh shit, I didn't make any money from this. I have to invest
Right.
into newer equipment because some people are liking me,
Yeah.
but I have to make it more higher quality.
Yeah.
And then some people are looking at like 2 episodes, a check is coming. A check comes from 2 episodes. That's between you and Smooth. I welcome you to the arena, folks.
Listen, man. I remember one time when we moved from this snowball mics to the mics that we had before this, right? And I put together all the stuff that I got for the new microphone, the new audio setup, and I took a picture and it's like, yo, this is it. We upgraded. I had someone come at me and say, yo, y'all are doing stuff like that? Like, it's popping, it's really popping like that? Like, you going out and buying new equipment? I was like, I'm like, well, it's popping enough for me to make the investment in what I'm doing, right? But you're making it sound like we needed to be at the mountaintop before we decided to put more interest in what we're doing. Nah, this is on a go. We're building something here. So I'm not gonna wait for me to get to a peak to say, now I need decent quality. I want to have that decent quality before I get to the peak.
Yeah. I think, and I had a conversation with my girl like this the other day. We're having a conversation, and I think it was along the lines of people might do things, like, especially like when it comes to podcasting, people might do things for, I guess, the more reaction or attention rather than like the feeling, right? Like, I want to say, for me, I legit talk with my hands.
Yes.
Like, even if I'm telling somebody a story, 9 times out of 10 I even act out the damn story and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm telling them a story and stuff. So this is exactly how I am. This is me. Like, I'm not trying to change or hide anything and stuff like that. Like, me, hair thinning out. Like, this is who I am.
Yeah,
and then some people and stuff, they might have to put on a facade to kind of get to where they need to be.
Right.
Or a caricature.
Right.
Right? And I guess the caricature could sell for a period of time, but I mean, like, it's only so long faith does can pretend.
That's it.
Right? So I always look at it where, why do it for the attention if that's not your intentional feeling? Like, like, if we're going to talk about the Britney Griner thing, I've been said keep the same energy and stuff with this. I've been said Britney Griner was not worth the trade for the Merchant of Death.
Right.
I've been said that, and I'm not changing that now.
Right.
Show me now with everywhere in the world, like I said, May 21st, when they have their home opener, when Phoenix has their home opener, show me on public TV, on like national regular TV, some NBC shit, why Britney Griner, why she was worth that.
Yeah. I mean,
show me. But then you have other people and stuff that will look and stuff. He's like, this dude's an Uncle Tom. He don't want to see a sister home, or he might be anti this, or he might be homophobic or something like that. And they might say it for more of attention or more of a reaction.
Yeah.
No, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. Like, I need to see why Britney Griner was worth, what was that? Because she has paper?
Knowing that there's somebody right now sitting in a Russian jail much longer than Britney was there.
Yeah.
And he can come home.
Say la baby. Get to the question of the week, man.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. Are you ready? Should a man share his feelings with his therapist or his partner?
Ooh, his therapist. Sorry, wifey.
Talk to me. Talk to me. I said therapist too.
He said therapist too.
Talk to me. Tell me why.
Because a therapist is trained, man.
Oh, I didn't say it for that
You
purpose.
didn't say it for that purpose?
I said it for that purpose because I feel like most women, a good portion of women are liars. Like people are liars.
Yeah.
Men and women are liars, but I feel like a good portion of women are liars. Be like, it's okay, babe. You can share your feelings and stuff like that. But then when they see him out here, bubbling mess, like he's crying and everything, like she be like, "A bitch ass man is this?" I didn't expect him to share this much. I expect to tell me,
wow,
why is he pissed off?
Wow.
Now we're in like fucking Dr. Phil sessions and he's out here crying on my titties.
You're like, I think you need to see a therapist.
So you did all that extra crying for nothing.
For nothing.
You could have saved that shit for the fucking therapist, or he or she probably shut that shit down like right there. Be like, dry your tears. It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, give you a few minutes to gather yourself. Can you get you some water?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And break. When it's done, no one knows the why. How's therapy? Kosher.
It was good.
That's it.
I feel better.
Without your ass. Yeah, I hope. And I say this with all sincerity, like I really hope that people really need to start looking into therapy.
Yeah.
Men and women.
Yeah.
Because I look at it where us as men, I feel like let's say, I want to say men like us. Well, first and foremost, black people have the most resilience out of races.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Somebody can fight me on that.
I don't know if anybody should fight you on that.
So you have a situation where people like us, we're known to know for a fact that our women might come at us with some kind of, I don't say stressors to us, but it might come with some shit that we just got to deal with.
Yeah.
And even if we're like, you don't got to deal with it, you still got to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you won't believe what happened today. I'm at work and then this heifer said this to me. And I'm like, who do you think you are? And you got to sit there like, what? No, she did. Not to my baby. What happened after that? Well, you don't give a fuck. You actually don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right.
Right? And I always look at stuff, I was like, dear Lord, don't put me in a position like that. And then when I feel like I come into a position like that where I'm like, I don't know if I have any fucks to give for certain particular things. Like certain things move me and certain things don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just like information. So I think because I like information,
right,
people just automatically assume that I might give a fuck about something like that when I don't.
Right.
So now if my woman so far, I don't think she would.
Yeah.
But every now and then, like, people are people.
Yeah.
I just want to go to my woman for, like, any kind of thing. I would come to your ass. I would come talk to you.
Yeah. Well, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, because I look at this stuff as, like, when men can communicate properly with men,
right,
fucking great.
It's awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. I think most men can't communicate properly with other men.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
So then now these are the guys you always look at stuff like, they're the volcanoes waiting to blow.
Right.
Those are the guys waiting to blow. Because me, you see me, I come in a group chat like, all right, y'all got a question. I'm dropping that bitch. Because if I have this weird ass thought, I'll drop it in the group chat, see how many of y'all respond.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, all right, this might be a conversation that might even be a podcast type of thing. And I bring it off there. Or I might talk to other people and stuff. So I'm like, I'm not crazy. Or I'm not over-exaggerating. Or I'm not losing my marbles.
Right.
But then some people who just ain't saying shit. They not saying shit to nobody.
Nah, yeah.
Then they even turn to their woman or their significant other, their partner. I don't even know, like, I can't even imagine the dynamic in a gay relationship. Like in a gay relationship, I look at stuff as like, maybe it's just me. I'm just looking at both of them and stuff. It's kind of like the woman, like.
Yeah,
so look like, who's taking on the stressor? Because I feel like
Yeah.
in a hetero relationship, most women don't want weak men.
No.
So they're looking for a man and stuff, whatever, for that security and that comfort aspect.
Right.
So security, I need to come to you when I have a problem.
I need to unload.
When I have a problem,
Yeah.
I go to security.
Right.
In a homo relationship, both of y'all need therapists. More than I think hetero.
Probably.
And it's not even like a
Probably.
like a thing they may
Or
be
maybe they
thinking.
figured it out. Maybe they got like a take turn system. You know what I mean? Like this week, I'm like,
You think?
maybe.
The only thing I always said this: gay men. I
Mhm.
feel like, my opinion, gay men have the most sex, like in relationship wise, because men and women, woman might be down for like 7 days
Right.
and everything. What's the stoppage besides, I guess, Taco Tuesday diarrhea or something like that?
Yeah, and you're right. There really is no stoppage.
So I feel like a lot of times, especially when it comes to just men in general, you might have an issue with your woman, but if your balls is empty and stuff, whatever, it's not really that much of an issue no more.
It's not.
So then that's what I'm thinking. So I'm looking like, if they're having issues, they probably look at each other like, balls needs to be empty, and then we're back to equilibrium.
We're back.
Yeah,
We're
we're
back.
back to regular schedule program.
Circle jerk.
Circle jack.
Instead of standing in front of each other doing this, we could be doing this.
I'm done.
Dear God, I hope that wasn't a cancel moment.
Yeah. Getting canceled. So for the final episode of the Podical
Here we go.
Sons, let's get to the Ass of Sons. Hey, yo. Let's get to Ass of Sons. Jan Solo. I wonder if it's Han Solo, but with the John Solo.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
What piece of media caused your sexual awakening?
Ooh, I read a novel. It was one of those
Harley Quinn types?
nah, it wasn't even Harley Quinn. This
Oh.
was like yeah. This was one of those novels where they just said everything. And did they say everything? Shit, I read that novel with a heart on. Yeah. That was
How old were you?
That was my first experience.
How old were you?
Probably maybe 8, 9.
Okay. I think for me, I know I seen like I went to somebody's house and somebody had like some kind of old school Asian porn or like an interracial porn.
Yeah.
Or like an Asian lady. And I was looking like, oh shit. She got naked. I was like, I feel a little blood flow out there.
Yeah.
And it's about like 9 years old.
Right.
And then I think when I was like 10 or something, Showgirls came out. The movie Showgirls. So the chick from Saved by the Bell who played Jessie,
Yes.
she was in there.
Right.
And I think the pool scene, when she got naked and the titties came, like, hey, it's just like the Asian porn I seen like a few months ago. I was like, oh, and it's getting warm down here. And then after that, I think pretty much, everything kind of just fell in suit and stuff from there.
For me, it was definitely books. I mean, magazines. I around that same time, my third oldest brother was still living at home, and he had I think it was a Playboy magazine in one of his messenger bags, and that was hidden underneath the bed. And you know, curiosity kills the cat. Yo,
But satisfaction brought it back.
yo, shout out to Sean Payne for letting me know that y'all and my niece used to break in my room when we weren't around. Kids, we be curious as a mother. You know?
Punk ass Mayate. You hear that fucking story he told?
I heard.
He broke in your room to get into my shit.
Right.
At least the confessions came out.
It came out.
The confessions came out. Now, you have no choice but you can't even be mad at it.
No, man.
You can't even be mad at it. The confessions came out. Yeah.
I had to laugh, man. But you know what? And it's funny because it was the homage being paid, but it was how the homage was being paid. It's like, yo, wow for this.
Man's like, let me tell you why I love Wu-Tang. And the man gave the story. I was like, oh shit, they used to break in the smooth room. I was like, damn, this niggas is wild. But Marv had that CD case though. I was like, nigga, y'all broken that shit from my shit?
And as soon as he broke down the CD case, I was like, damn, I remember the CD case. The video games on one side, the music on the next. I was like, yep.
You know me, I'm like an organized dude and shit like that. So like, yeah, by all means. But yeah, no, kudos to them, man.
All right.
Next question comes from Krabby Pants. What is a crazy / strange rabbit hole you've gone down? So we were just talking about the red pill shit. Perfect episode for this. Asian men building huts from houses from nothing. I lived on YouTube for that. I think I probably watched all those videos and stuff in like a hot month. That was my midnight ritual.
Bro.
I would legit. I
went down that one.
I was dating at the time.
Yeah.
So if I was talking to a woman and everything, like in the latter part of the night, when I said, okay, I'm done doing research, let me have this whole conversation. When I'm having conversations with them, I just would watch that shit mute on YouTube and just be like, how? You don't even have a hammer. You're just using other shit to hammer. Like,
and I think that's what kind of sucked me into, because I was like, man, human ingenuity.
Mm-hmm. Motherfucker built an ark, like a Noah's Ark type of shit. And I was looking like, with no saw.
No fucking saw.
No saw. So that rabbit hole, this is a Jamaican expression they always say, like, your mind would tech you. Like,
your head will tech you.
Your head will tech you. Sometimes my head texts me like some rabbit holes and shit. Like, I remember one night, legit, I even said, yo, I know exactly how it was. It was a summertime dance. And I was on my balcony. And I was putting up some trees and stuff in the air. And it's a late night and stuff. And then I was looking at this full moon. I'm like, hey, did it? And I was thinking about, hey, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon.
Right.
I'm like, fucking cow can jump that damn high. I'm like, cows can't do shit but just eat grass and give milk and get cut up and everything, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in Google, I think later that night, I was laying in my bed. I'm like, do cows? And then fucking the autofill on Google said, cows swim. Like, cows swim? Yo, I watched a full cow documentary on YouTube that was like 22 odd minutes. And I said to myself, like, at like the 17-minute mark, because I paused it to go piss.
Yeah.
And I came back, I'm like, I should be fucking sleeping. I have to work in the morning. I'm here watching a cow documentary.
Bro.
So the rabbit holes with me, if my mind texts me.
Yeah, that
I'm gone.
happens. That had a similar outcome. One day I was watching this thing on nature. You know, we're talking about trees in the forest.
Okay.
And they're saying how if one tree, let's say it had like an infestation of like army ants, it would send messages through its roots, right? And through the root system, the mycelium system in the ground would alert all the other trees in the forest. And I was like,
so they set up like a defense thing with the trunk?
yeah, so they send a message through their roots, right? And then the mycelium, like that it's like one gigantic
network.
Yeah, underground. And so it just sends out the signals to all the other trees, right? Some trees will say, okay, shit. Let's say Tom, the main tree, oh shit, Tom may need nutrients. So some of those trees will send back some extra nutrients that they're not using.
Because an infestation is taking it out.
To help Tom to kind of feed off that. So I was like, oh shit, this is nuts.
Stop talking. Listen. Stop talking. Because I might fuck around and be looking at that shit tonight.
20 videos later, I'm researching. I'm in like the fungi world.
Stop talking.
Figuring out how these shits is. I'm like, dude, it blew me away.
Stop talking. And then I'll look at it and then I won't even give a fuck about it no more. But I'm like, why? Why? I was here.
It becomes one of those useless facts that you know.
Right. All right. Last one comes from 2 quarters. Who is a bad guy in history who actually wasn't a bad guy? Richard Jewell. I think the movie is called Richard Jewell.
Richard Jewell.
The Olympic bombing in Atlanta
Right.
in 1996. He was a security guard. Like when you see the movie, he was actually a hero.
Yeah.
And this is like true story.
Yeah.
Type of thing. At first I thought before that when I was talking about it, because somebody made me, I wouldn't say made me, but they kind of persuaded me to kind of look into him a little more when I was watching the movie.
Yeah.
And I was looking at like the actual photo of dude and stuff. I'm like, oh shit. Because when watching that movie, I was actually thinking about the Denzel one. The Flight?
Yes.
With him drugged up or alcoholic pilot and everything.
Right.
It's based loosely on a true story. It's not a true story. It's not a true thing. Because the actual flight, that flight, I think was going to like, I think somewhere like either Puerto Rico or Cuba or something like that.
Yeah.
And it crashed and everybody died.
Okay.
So the flight 261, I believe that was the number. American Airlines flight 261. And in the movie, I was like, it was all of that going on.
Upside
I was like, oh shit, flight 261. I Googled the bitch, they were like, the fuck? Everybody died. I'm like, what? And like I think his name was like Whitaker or something like that.
Yeah.
The pilot, Denzel's character, wasn't even a real person. But I was like, everybody can go from hating you to hate you, to realize you're not so bad of a person. I always feel like, you know why I feel like that for? His name is Jackie Gleason. He played Joffrey.
Yeah.
He played Joffrey so fucking good.
So good.
That people wanted that kid dead from season 1.
Yeah.
From season 1, they wanted him dead.
Yeah.
Right? And I looked at it where I was looking at him because he said, I think he got like mad death threats like throughout the season.
Just imagine, man.
I was like, he had to tell people stuff like, if he ran to people on the street, he's like, you know it's a show, right?
Yeah.
You know it's a show. But people are not taking this seriously, like, oh, okay, but it's life to me. And the guy is actually like a swell person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they made him into a bad guy, but he's not.
I always look at and I don't know if he was more made into a bad guy more than misunderstood. But Mike Tyson.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Hitler. I was like, God bless you. That's why I put my hands together. I'm like, I don't know what this man might say over there, but we already hit a touchy moment on the show for cancellation. We're not trying to get like hit by the ADL as well, but go ahead. Mike Tyson. Mike
Tyson.
Because he bit off an ear?
But
Mike was a hero before he became a villain.
I think that whole Robin Givens thing.
Start making him look like a villain?
I think that whole thing gave him that villain light.
Robin Givens' thing was before the rape charge, right?
I think so.
I
think so.
I don't know. I feel like we didn't really, the way how media is now compared to media then, I feel like we really didn't focus too much on people's bads in their worlds back then. More so what we do now.
Oh, yeah, now it's ridiculous.
Like what we do now with stuff is, it's out of pocket.
Yeah.
But I think back then it was kind of like they would graze on it.
Yeah.
Unless, especially if it's sports, if it's something to hinder you playing your sport, then problem. Like you know, everybody knew Jordan had a gambling problem. That didn't stop him from hooping and being a GOAT.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When Jordan's father died, they know like, oh shit, this would take him away from the game or games at the time, because I think he had the baseball world going on too.
I think so.
At the time when his father passed, so they're looking like, this will now hinder. So this is now we're going to focus and linger and stuff on this. Because even like with Jordan and Juanita going through their shit, no one fucking cared.
Nah.
He still went out there, did his thing.
Yeah.
Even when, I think with Tiger, when Tiger started fucking up in golf and not winning as much, this is when it got blown out to a wild degree. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it was in that world, in that spaceship of form where I feel like we give several more fucks about your world now, and we'll talk about your bad ASAP compared to that Mike. Mike, we knew back then, Robin Givens, rape charge, ear bite. And he did prison time for the rape charge.
Yes.
So Robin Givens, ear bite, and all that. Now, when seeing this Mike Tyson thing on Disney, his story from the siblings to the mom, you know, like, you're looking like, damn, this guy had a story.
Yeah.
Why y'all ain't tell us this back then?
Yeah.
But media coverage wasn't to what it is now. Right. Yeah. So okay, we are here at the end now. Fun times.
We're here, man.
All good things must come to an end.
Sadly.
So say the Suns this week. Says, if they hated you when you were poor, when you're rich, they'll hate you more.
So says the
So
Suns.
say the Suns. Is that a bar?
I like that. Hate on haters.
Is that a bar? That's a bar?
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
They hate on you when you were poor. When you're rich, they'll hate you more. So say the Sun. Go hustle and get that podcast check.
I was about to say, it sounds self-explanatory.
Yo, it's self-explanatory, man.
Self-explanatory.
Hustle hard. Go be great.
Go be great, man. Don't let nobody stop you.
From yours truly, we're telling you, go be great, man. Don't
Nobody stop you.
let them hate you when you're great. People always hate who's on top. Simple. Straight like that.
That's it.
Done deal. We are here. We are at the end. Sign off time, man. Thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember the difference between genius and stupidity?
Genius has its limits.
Amen to that. Peace and love, y'all.
Bars.
So say the Suns got bars now. With the bloods, clots.
The Podical Sons was not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.